Hello, my name is William Davey, and Will the Vicar has asked Redlands Trinity students to record a new series of Hope Reflections. I look forward to hearing what the others have to say. It may seem to many of us as if Christmas is now a long finished holiday. It has faded away in our memories and is now no more yielding than a dream, to borrow from A Midsummer Night's Dream. But in the Church, Christmas continues until February the 2nd, where it concludes with Candlemas, or the presentation of Christ in the temple. In Luke's account of the visit to the temple, we are told that Mary and Joseph encounter two prophets, Simeon and Anna. Anna is a widow who has been fasting and worshipping in the temple for several decades, in fact for the majority of her life. Her response upon meeting Jesus is to praise God and to speak about him to everyone she encounters. Simeon, meanwhile, has been told by the Spirit that he would not die before he encountered the Messiah. We are told that having been guided by the Spirit to visit the temple, Simeon says this: "Sovereign Lord, as you have promised, you may now dismiss your servant in peace. For my eyes have seen your salvation, which you have prepared in the sight of all nations, a light for revelation to the Gentiles, and the glory of your people Israel." Simeon and Anna were blessed in that they were some of the first to meet the Messiah. But they represented all those in Israel who had faithfully waited for untold years, trusting that God would fulfill his promise to send a Messiah who would reign with justice and righteousness. We have also found ourselves in a time of waiting over this last year, and there is still some waiting to be done before we can begin to explore what normality looks like in a post-COVID world. We also know that God has made promises to us. He has promised us that he will always be there for us, that he will never abandon us, that he will respond when we call out to him, and that in the end he will return to reign in glory. In the midst of COVID, it may seem hard to believe those promises sometimes. I know there have been times when I have wondered why God doesn't just make COVID go away, but that is me, assuming I know better than God. Life seems hard at the moment, I know, and we may find ourselves asking where hope is to be found in the midst of all this uncertainty, not to mention in the midst of all the ambiguity and confusion that is found in normal everyday life. But I truly believe that we can take hope from the story of Simeon and Anna, and from the fact that, however long it takes from our perspective, God never fails to fulfill his promise. We have encountered God's promised salvation in the person of Jesus Christ, and we know that he will act for our good and the good of the world. However difficult things seem right now, God will come through. We know this to be true. Hope you have a good rest of the week.